Do you have a picture of what you were looking to get done? All right, bro. Cool. YouTube, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? This haircut tutorial, we are going to be doing a lot of shear work. So I'm going to start sectioning the hair from the parietal ridge, right? That's the part that curves into the top from the side of the head. And we're going to start working on debulking this area while keeping bulk towards the back, because at the end of the day, that's pretty much what a mullet is, right? And so we're going to start doing, angled sections, creating graduation into the length on top. And you can see the angle that I'm kind of placing my fingers. It's blending right into where we're gonna have a mullet area. And so little by little, I'm gonna start to turn my fingers vertically until I get to the back of the ear, and then I'll stop. And now I'm just gonna refine everything I did. This is pretty much like cross-checking by doing scissors over comb and just refining everything. And the reason why we're doing shear work in this area is because I'm gonna leave some length here. I want some length here. I didn't want to just run a number 4 into here or a number 3 into here. We're gonna leave some length there, have a soft look, and then do a low taper. All right, and we're doing the same thing on this side. I really don't like cutting with shears with gloves, and you don't have to, according to the protocols and the CDC, and you don't have to in a barbershop. But I think I'm doing it in the beginning just to make clients feel comfortable. Everybody has different opinion on the situation right now, so that's the only reason why I'm wearing gloves. But I prefer to not wear gloves and just wash my hands before and after every client. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and start to cut the top. All the hair that's on the round of his head has to connect to the sides here, and so that's what we're gonna start doing. And then we'll cut the length on top to whatever the desired length is of the client. And same thing here, we're gonna go ahead and refine it, doing scissor over comb. It is better to refine when the hair is dry, but yeah, I didn't want to dry the hair when I still got the top to cut. Sorry for my elbow.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
All right, and we're doing the same thing on this side, being consistent on both sides. All right, and now we're bringing the fringe over to the sides, right, and just making sure that it flows into the sides, right? And the fringe is the bangs, right, the front of his hair. Like you can see right here, see how it's disconnected? That's it. We're just gonna connect it now. And now when you comb the hair back, you can see it flows really nicely. Now it's time to go ahead and start to cut the length on top. And so I kind of split it in half into 2 different sections. And now we're going to kind of point cut, just because he wants a textured look on top. It doesn't have to be a fine straight line. And so that first cut is going to be my guideline the rest of the top. And this is why part of why I hate wearing gloves to cut hair, because you don't have as much control. You can't get as close with the shears. You get like this. I probably wore like 3 gloves this haircut just because I kept cutting the gloves. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, but I don't want to have to get used to that. All right, and what you'll notice here is I took a little bit from the first half that we cut, and now that's going to be my guideline for the second half of the front, and now we have a new guideline for the rest of the top. All right, so now that the desired length is done, we can blow dry the hair and we can start to personalize the haircut, refine it some more. I'm using the razor because he did want a textured look. So I'm taking pieces and I'm just kind of like freestyling, you know, little pieces that we're texturizing. And we're doing this everywhere that there is length. And the blow dry that I was using there was a gift from Gamma. So shout out to Gamma for sending me that blow dryer. It's definitely a great alternative if you don't have the budget for a Dyson. All right, so I'm putting Royal Wax by Tomb 45 in his hair while his hair is a little damp. And we're gonna blow dry it because I decided to re-blow dry it because I felt like if I put the wax in there while it was wet, you'd be able to see more texture. As you can see, it's definitely promoting more texture. And so now that most of the shear work is done, I want to go ahead and taper and do cleanup work and refining work, more detailing into a semi-styled look. Now, he did tell me that he'd like it a little bit shorter in the front, so I'm just going to do deep texture to see if that will take off enough length for him. But what ends up happening is he wants even more length off. So I just focus on the front. And what I start to do in the front is cut it 90 degrees, right? So cut it to the shape of his head instead of pulling everything straight up where you're going to have more length in the front, of course. I just went ahead and cut it 90 degrees in the front to get it short to where he wanted it, but not change the entire haircut, right? I think that's looking pretty good so far, but the square sideburns got to go. All right, so we're gonna start off with a number 3, and I'm coming kind of off the shape of his temple, of his head, and preparing it for a light taper. It's not gonna be like a high taper or anything like that. It's just a way better look, in my opinion, than square sideburns. So we're doing a number 4 now, just above that. I think that's the highest guard we're gonna use. I think that looks good right there. Now his hair is definitely finer in around his hairline, so that's why I started with a number 1 guard. Like a number 1 on him looks like a half on most people. All right, this is the 1.5 guard, and it's all the way open. and we're using a lot of our corners. We're trying not to bring this taper up too high. Using a lot of the corners of the number one guard open. I think that taper really fit well with the haircut. So we did our number one open. Now we're doing the half guard open, close it as needed. Now we're doing the 1.5 guard, and then you close that as needed. You know, if the line's not coming out, close it up some. But in order to stay in a tight space, you can see I'm using a lot of corner. All right, so I think that was a number 2, and this is a number 3. And I love how that taper is looking with the textured mullet look. All right, let's go ahead and put the line on him. We're gonna keep it as natural as we possibly can, while still giving him a defined line. This is gonna make the taper look a little bit lower, but also it's gonna make that blend pop. Definitely keeping this natural. I'm not gonna push this back. There's the OCD in me right now. It looks fine. It looks good, Chris. Move on. I know a lot of you guys who cut hair could relate. All right, so we're cleaning up behind this ear down. We're gonna put the C cup on them. Definitely liking how the cut is turning out. And I love that texture behind the ear too. I don't know. I like the scruffy look with the mullet, so I don't know. I never really recommend a chin strap for nobody. So what I did was I kind of blended his beard into the sides, which is definitely not a full beard by any means. But my man, he's using the minoxidil. He's trying to get that thing to fill in. So we're gonna leave it kind of scruffy looking. And I think it complements the mullet, textured mullet look really well. So what you see I'm doing here is is shaving underneath, right up to his hairline, because that's going to allow the length of hair in the back of his neck to lay flatter, to lay nicer, looser, more movement, right? When you have all that bulk underneath, it just makes that hair, that texture, it just makes it look too bulky, right? It doesn't move, it doesn't lay freely or wispy the way you see it laying now. So you always go underneath that hair and shave all that hair up to the hairline. Yeah, see, I think that looks so much better right there than what he had before. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comment section what you think. Alright guys, so this is it. This is the before. Now let's check out the after. Guys, I feel like this is a trending cut right now and it's going to get more and more popular. I think it's a dope look. It's a mullet, but it's not your Joe Dirt mullet. You know what I'm saying? So let me know in the comments, guys, what you thought about the cut. Smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're going to be coming out with heat all year. Guys, we're almost at 300,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. We're almost there.